Hi, Tony. Can you hear me?
Yes, Coach, I can. Loud and clear, sir.
Let me know when April's on. April Bonner.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the bad light. I'm at the lake house. And we're looking at a location to best suit everybody and everything. Anyway, we have April Bonner on now. Hey, James.
Hey, Coach.
James, I was telling some folks last November, when you started building your house, your wife said, the builder said we're ahead of schedule and we should be in early May. And I said, I shouldn't have said it. I said, you are so naive when it comes to builders. I felt so bad. And now it's what, June 27th, something like that?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, June 26th. Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I just left a meeting with him.
Well, I know you got to be happy about that, and moving in and making your dreams come true.
Absolutely. That hotel bed is beating me up now, Coach.
Yeah. The air conditioning isn't the same as being in a house.
Oh no, for sure.
Hi, Cindy Kicklighter. Hey, holy moly. We've got a Virginia Carter clone here. Virginia passed away this Friday. It'll be 11 years this Friday. And so tell us a memory or two, Cindy, if you can, that you have of Virginia Carter.
Oh my gosh, there's so many of them, but Virginia Carter, a lot of you guys knew her from the stand. She loved everybody, Southern Belle. And I just remember James, because she's a tough lady, she's a tough lady. And this guy came up and he started talking and she was so beautiful, peachy keen to him. And when he left, he goes, I can't stand that guy. And so I just loved Virginia Carter's, it didn't matter, but she really was an amazing woman. But the one Bill Orender that made a big difference to me, and I regret, but there was, for some reason, the tape recorder didn't come out. Me and her went up to her hotel, and there was a double bed, and she sat on one side, Jamesy, and I sat on the other one, and her big, beautiful blue eyes. And I says, Virginia, tell me about your life. Just tell me. And she went back to, obviously military, or brothers, and the Olympics and everything. And I just listened to her. The funny thing is I was taping it and Milner came in the middle of it and started making all kinds of noise. So it didn't come out. But you know what, all the way through, just her bumps in the road, she was always a tiger. She always saw the positive side. And you knew, 4 kids, single mom, loved her husband, but obviously he had some issues too, And at the end of it, she stopped and she looked at me with those big blue eyes. And she says, you know what, Cindy? If I died and went to heaven today, I can honestly say I've lived a beautiful life. And we just sat there. I stared at her and she stared at me. And she was just an amazing woman all the way till her death. All the way till her death. I got one more for you, Bill. I was at the house. Milner comes home. And I think it was a Wednesday. And Virginia Carter, James, says to her son, okay, Milner, am I dying? I just need to know, am I dying? And Bill, I think, and Milner says, Mama, yeah, you're dying. She goes, well, what are you doing here? You got things to do. And she was kicking him out, getting it going. But every moment in her life, Bill Orender, she slept, drank, but she was an amazing woman. I'm very blessed to have gone through stuff and she kind of came closer. Very blessed to be close to Virginia Carter. An amazing woman, an amazing life, but she bled Primerica. She bled Primerica. It was ingrained inside of her. The day Monday in the hospital, the day that she died, passed away, I think on a Friday. She started getting fidgety at 12 o'clock. I told you this one, fidgety at 12 o'clock, James. I had no idea what she was doing. And one of the grandbabies says she just loves TV. I go, no, there's something different. You got to understand, she doesn't know where she is. She really doesn't know. She wanted to sit up and get ready for the broadcast at 12 o'clock. That woman knew, and literally, like, she was like, and I'm okay, right? Almost as if she thought the broadcast was coming into that hospital room. And I looked at her, I said, that's amazing. So Primerica's 12 o'clock meeting woke that woman up, and she got ready to watch it. So those are my memorable moments.
You know, Cindy, when she was 90, she died at almost 91. But when she was 90, she came up with a 20-year game plan.
She did.
And when I saw her at in the hospital, she looked at me, said, "This is a bad time for this to be happening." And so talk about that, Cindy, and some of the life lessons. We're supposed to have April Bonner on, but we don't see her yet. And James, you have her phone number?
Yes.
Would you give her a call, please? And maybe our times were messed up because she's California time this time. At least I think we are zones. No one's worse with zones than you are, Cindy.
Yeah.
What time zone? So Cindy, what are some of the things you learned from her, life lessons, not just business lessons? And
if you're blessed in your life
for some reason April can't be on, Cindy, we're going to interview you.
No. Hey,
Yes,
I don't care. When it comes to Virginia Carter, she's Virginia Carter is a very unique woman, and in Primerica you'll find those special kind of people. They're, you're not going to go find them, at NASDAQ working behind a computer or whatever, but Virginia Carter's life amplified excellence. I mean, even Bill, you could tell us about when all the guys started in 1979, and she was the woman, but you treated her like a man, She didn't want to be treated different. She didn't want to be treated like a single mom. She didn't want to be treated differently. She just wanted to win like everybody else. And, some intimate moments with Virginia, just some of the little things. She really did appreciate life. She came up for one of the fast start schools. And I remember, Tony, when she was coming down, she was walking down out of the hotel with these couple buckets of milk, right? Little milk. And she says to me, I guess she had gotten milk up into her room. Now you got to remember, she's back in the day of depression, right? They had hard times, Bill, back then. You would know that part of her life. And she came down and she said to me, Jamesy, she goes, "Cindy, would you make sure this milk gets somewhere where somebody could use it? I just don't want to waste it." And I just, here's this amazing woman, she wasn't the bling bling, she wasn't all of that, but she truly was an amazing woman that we've been influenced by. I just think her story was just amazing.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a little background. That fits perfectly with our program today when we had the latest Virginia Carter Award winner.
Amazing.
And I think she's April Bonner is number 10, I think, of the Virginia Carter Award winners. And it makes her entire family so proud. And most people don't know of the history of Virginia Carter. And that's a good idea for a future program, Cindy, where we can really talk about one of the original 7. And I remember calling Glenn Williams or John Addison saying, we got to have an award to honor Virginia Carter. And this was before she passed away. There's one convention where she was there for the winner. And it's been significant. Every one of the Virginia Carter Award winners, April, have gone on and have become legends. So this is a very prestigious award, and it goes to the number that the most successful newest RVP of the last year. So welcome aboard, April Bonner. April, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Mr.
Good,
Orender, how are you?
Fine, thank you. We have James Watkins, and James is going to be helping us ask you some questions, April. So tell us a little bit about yourself to begin with, and whose hierarchy you're in. You know, most people on this call are not familiar with everybody in Primerica. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and then James and I will start asking you some pertinent questions regarding your road to success in your journey. So April, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak to your hierarchy. I really appreciate it. It's a very big honor for me when I got the text message from you. And I just want to say, I'm just so thankful for everyone in this company to continue to keep pushing me, right? I'm actually out of the Gary Cornegay's office in Rancho Cucamonga. And so we just build people. I like Gary's talks because it's not just Primerica, it's building the mentals and fundamentals and building relationships with people. So I came in building relationships. A little bit background about myself. I'm 50 years old. I've been married for 29 years. I have 3 children. I have 3 grandsons. And I was a former labor and delivery nurse for 29 years. And my 19-year-old son recruited me to Primerica after seeing a presentation in our home through a friend of my husband's. So prior to that, you know, I had my career going on. My husband's an electrician. My children were in college playing football. When we were presented this opportunity, my son at that age was 19 years old, and he had got major injuries. He got concussions after concussions, and he had a 4-month-old son, and he decided to take another road. He says, listen, I need to know who my son is when I'm 50 years old, right? I need to make sure that I know who he is because of that CT. And he says, I'm taking all these risks and injuries, and there's no guarantee that I'm gonna make it in the NFL. So he redirected his energy to Primerica. I was fully into my career and engaged. And so we went to an opportunity meeting. At that opportunity meeting, I felt like Gary was talking to me, if that makes sense. I felt like there was nobody in that room because he was talking a language that I never heard of. So it attracted me to want to know more, if that makes sense. You know, ESBI, all these different things about being an entrepreneur that I've always worked for someone, because I was taught, go to school, get a good education, get a degree, and get a good job. No one ever talked to me about entrepreneurship, and that excited me. And so I went back home. Primerica was on my mind. I told my son I'm good in my career. And he said, well, Mom, I'm going for it. I says, well, let me think about it. You know, like everybody says when you guys go on appointments, let me think about it, right? So I thought about it, but it was just exciting to me that I thought about it the whole week. I asked my husband, what do you think? He says, you know what? Go ahead and go where your heart leads you, right? Talk to God, get a plan, and figure it out. I'll support you whenever you want to do. So I said, okay, son, I'll go to one more opportunity meeting, but my mind was already made up that I wanted to join Primerica. I went to that second meeting and it was over for me. I already knew that when I walked into that building, I knew that I was going to quit my job the next day. I finished a meeting. The next morning, I called the hospital and said, I will not be coming back in. I am resigning. They said, you're resigning. You're not giving me 2 weeks. I said, no, didn't you guys tell me that you're an at-will company? So I'm going to exercise my at-will rights because I'm going to no longer be a slave to the slave holder. I said, I'm done. I said, I watched you guys let all of these nurses come in and work all day long, and at the evening time, you walk them into the office with security and you let them go, not knowing what they got going on at their homes, and you exercise that right. So I'm gonna exercise mine. You know what my office manager told me? She said, well, you'll never be able to use us as a reference. I said, I don't need it because I'm gonna be my own boss. I said, this is a greater opportunity. I've been working here for 28 years. I worked for 25-cent raises, 50-cent raises, $1 raises, and I'm doing more than what the doctor is delivering these babies. But I don't get the recognition, so you guys are only paying me what you think I'm worth. Well, now I believe in myself, and I believe I'm gonna get paid on my own performance performance and my own worth ethic. Because as you guys know, nurses work all day, 16, 18-hour days, holidays, weekends, you miss graduations because the need for us nurses are high in demand. So that was when I was freed. I was now like, you know what? I looked at my son. I said, son, let's do that. He said, what better to be in partnership with my mother who has raised me? But this time I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Now, prior to that, guys, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my background, because this is why I am who I am today in Primerica. I've been through a lot in my life, adversity, and I never let anything take me out of this business or in my life as far as raising my family. In 2005, me and my husband made bad financial decisions. I've never had a financial coach. I never had a mentor. I went in life thinking, you know what? I didn't even know how money worked, if that makes sense, before I got into Primerica at 47. I thought money worked while you go to job, you get paid and you spend it, right? No one ever taught me that. So while I'm coming up, we made those bad financial decisions. We bought things that we shouldn't have bought. We invested in things that we had no clue of, and we lost everything. So we became homeless in 2005. So me and my children had to move into a hotel, but because if you know me, I'm going to make the best decision out of something worse. So when we lived in that hotel, my kids didn't understand that we were living in a motel. They thought that we were rich. Why? Because we had a maid to come in and clean and make up our beds every day, right? We had a swimming pool downstairs where they can go swimming whenever they wanted. And then we had our chefs making our continental breakfast. So my kids didn't know the difference, right? So I said, this is ours. We're rich still, even though we were broke in our pockets. My kids didn't even understand that. So we made it through that after staying in that hotel for about 5 months, end up renting the place, but my credit was bad. So of course I had to settle for something that I wouldn't normally settle for, but I knew it was only a temporary situation. So we get a townhouse. We lived there for a couple years. 2 years later, 2007, I get shot in a drive-by shooting 3 times. Now, I ain't never hurt nobody. I don't live a dangerous life. And so I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, if that makes sense. I was getting out of my car to go into a friend's house, and it was a crowd out. I didn't even know them. They were standing outside, and I was the one who got shot by both guns. Now, it didn't take me out of here. I got shot in my back and I got shot in the leg. Thank God that was it. I was able to drive myself to the hospital because I'm a nurse. I understood you need pressure. So you need a tourniquet. So I used my shirt and my pants and I tied it around my leg and I tied it around my waist to stop the bleeding. And I knew not to panic as a nurse, because when you panic, guess what? Your adrenaline is pumping and you start bleeding out. So I just stayed calm through it all. Drove myself to the hospital. They checked me out. I stayed in the hospital for 48 hours. They just want to maintain it because I was shot 1 inch from the femoral artery where I could have bled to death or became paralyzed. But because I knew God was right there with me, he was not going to allow it, because I still had a testimony. I made it through that, but I did never, ever question anything else that had happened in my life. You know why? Because God gave me a second chance at life. I said, God, if you let me make it through this, I promise you, I won't complain about the little things. Just allow me to still be here for my family. I get through that, still nursing. 2011, my father-in-law passes away working at General Motors for 49 years, and he lapses his insurance, and now we have no life insurance to bury him. We don't even have any finances to help him. So we didn't have GoFundMes and all those things. We had to call people around to see if they can loan us some money. Whatever we did, we buried his father. 3 weeks later, a lady called and said, because of his situation and his policy lapsed because of his illness, we're going to retract that, take away the premiums, and they end up paying him out at the job, which was fine. He had one of those grandfather policies with General Motors that they were able to take the insurance. So he had great insurance. 2016, I get diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I'm going, Lord, what did I do to deserve this in my past life, right? So I get through that. Come to find out, after I have surgery and have my whole thyroid removed, it comes back about 8 weeks later, said the tumors were benign, but they already had removed the thyroid, and I was happy, because if it was some cancer in me, it needed to come out because we didn't know how it would spread. 2016, my husband, guilty by association, get involved in a conspiracy that he had nothing to do with. And so he get in some trouble with the law. My husband's 50 years old, never been to jail, never been to prison. We get caught up in this case where he's a ringleader of something, and he's looking at 22 years in prison. Now, at that time, I was working. He was working. He was making over 10 grand a month. I was making about 7,500. We lived an okay lifestyle, if that makes sense. The cost of living in California is high, so that's no money if you're living in California. Somewhere else, that's a lot of money. So we maintained that. My husband ended up losing his job. So now his income is now to unemployment, $584 a week. Now we're drowning because we built this lifestyle. So what happened in my mind? I envisioned going back being homeless. And I said, that's not going to happen a second time. That is not going to happen. When my son introduced me to Primerica, I said, I'm going full force in it. And we did that. So I want to tell you guys that part of my life so you can understand the questions that Mr. Orender is going to ask me is going to lead to where I'm at today. So all the adversities and everything that I've been through, I didn't say, God, why me anymore? I said, God, thank you for allowing me to be the vessel to motivate and inspire someone that has been through what I've been through. My credit is bad. My bank accounts are negative. My water is getting cut off. My kids are forced to get on the county AFDC, and I'm losing everything. So therefore, I had nothing to lose when I joined Primerica. I hope that gave you an insight of my life. I'm not a bad person. I've been through some things, but I am that person to lead that vessel for somebody else, to not make you feel bad for my life, but to be inspired that I didn't let anything take me out of the game. Not even being shot, not even homeless, not even having cancer, to my husband leaving me for 22 years.
Wow.
I know. Wow.
James, you think you know people, you think, well, people are people, but some stories really touch you. And James Watkins, you have a question for April.
Man, thanks, Coach, for putting me out there. I thought I had a question, but you answered it all, girl. Man, I was gonna ask, because sometimes, being when you have your child, approach you with the opportunity versus, versus somebody, I guess at a peer level or whatever, most parents wouldn't make that decision, to join their child. But after hearing your story and hear about, I guess, his success in sports, would you say that was the reason why he had a lot of credibility for you to, at least get you down to the meeting?
Well, prior to this, my family is very, very close. Me and my husband, we did everything with our children, if that makes sense. I mean, everything. If we went somewhere, they went with us. So when my sons, well, let me go back. My husband's friend was already in Primerica, but let me take you guys back a little bit further. Tanya Poe and I were best friends in high school. I didn't even know she was in Primerica. And then Angie Reed was my husband's friend. So I've heard about Primerica 12 years ago, and I was introduced the opportunity to us 12 years ago by Angie Reed. But I was like, to me, I'm just like my clients. What? Primerica life insurance, right? I'm a nurse, right? I'm just so special, right? And so I didn't even think about it. But you know what? I think God knew that my plan was not to do Primerica 12 years ago, because I wouldn't be successful today because it wasn't the timing, if that makes sense. So when my husband told me and my kids to come into the kitchen because his friend wanted to show a presentation, my husband was like, oh, get all three of my sons here. Get them in here and they need to hear this. This is an opportunity for a lifetime. And so when we came in, my oldest son, he's into music and he has his own life going on. My 17-year-old was still in high school, so he didn't have a clue. But my 19-year-old always envisioned us getting out of what you call, I guess, the ghetto. He wanted something better for himself and his family. So when he told me that, it was like, I thought about it. And then I says, well, what do I got to lose? I said, most kids wouldn't listen to a 19-year-old, but I seen it too. But I just wasn't open to it because I thought my career was my career and I couldn't see anything else because I didn't have that entrepreneur mindset. My husband did because he owns several businesses, but my son's credibility and the way that I raised my kids to be credible men in the society through adversity. I knew that if he wanted to do it, I knew the work ethic that he had on that field, practicing 6 and 7 days a week, not getting any money, not getting any recognition because he's 5'9", 165. He's not statistically correct to be a running back, right? And I said, you know what, with his work ethic and my work ethic, why can't we make this work? So my children are my life. And they say, you know, who's your why? My why is my children, but that's just straight across the board for everybody. Your why is your children, right? But my why was bigger than myself. My why was bigger to fight for something that I can leave to my kids. No one's ever had that kind of conversation with me. What are you going to leave your family when you're no longer here? Are you going to be a nameless, faceless person? Or are you going to do everything that you can to make your situation better? Because my family didn't come from any richness, right? They didn't leave us anything. Every generation, all the way 5 generations deep up for me, I don't even know who my great-great-great-grandfather is. Because guess what? There was no legacies left. So I said it was up to me to do it, to change that generational curse. And now look today, I am running a family business. I am so much happier. They kept me enslaved for 28 years. And guess what? Primerica freed me to be able to live a life that I deserve because I work hard, if that makes sense. My family is no better than your family. Their family is no better than our family. So why can't I do it? If I can go work for somebody and be enslaved to a clock, why can't I do that for my family? And so I just changed. It was just like, okay, I see it. Let's do it. And then we went all out for it. I mean, when I say I worked every single day like it was my last day here. Because guess what? I've already experienced something close to death, right? I've already experienced cancer. Those are the 2 things that will take you out of here in an instant. So I go, why am I going to play with this, son? I said, when I come in, I said, we're going to make everybody in Primerica knows that this mother and son team from Compton can make a difference in somebody else's life. It doesn't matter where we came from. It does not define who we are as people. And that's why I'm so transparent in my stories when I get on stage, because everybody wants to be perfect and get on this Primerica stage like they had the greatest life ever. Well, I haven't. I need somebody to see, even through a life that you didn't deserve or that you had to go through, you can make it out if you have that mindset to say, I should not be held hostage from my past. I can be released to my future. That's me. I'm not looking at anybody else in Primerica. I'm looking at what I can do for my family. And I know that I can make it out and that can help you, James. I'm sorry if that was a long, drawn out answer, but I need you to know where I'm coming from personally. Most people would judge me on that stage. Oh, look at her. This has happened to her. This is her husband. This is her. No. Because I guarantee you, everything that I've just mentioned that happened in my life, it's happened to some of you on this screen here, but maybe you guys aren't just open to explaining that or expressing that to the big stage. I need people to know that people here that had everything against them can make it here. See, I look for the disenfranchised people, the people who's lost it all and who can gain it all, because those are the people that I know that will have my back in this company. Most people that come in that already got it, guess what? They have plan Bs. Everybody I look for does not have a plan B. So that's why my organization is growing, because I've built relationships and I taproot 10, 12 levels deep, because I want to know each person individually. I want to know their personal why, because I can tell you, I've been through everything that somebody can tell me. Being shot, being homeless, credit messed up, water and trash getting cut off, know how to turn it on, been on the account. Whatever you've been through, I can coach you because your coach been through it already.
That's powerful, April.
April and James, you'll have a question after this one. April, you used the question, the statement enslaved numerous times, and you saw freedom. Why didn't you see this years ago, nursing as enslavement? Why didn't you see freedom? And what can you teach us about your trigger moment when you decided no more, I've got to move on? Talk about that for a second.
Okay, when I talk about enslavement, meaning I had to endure having another person tell me when I can go to lunch, when I'm hungry. Everything is set, right? If I'm hungry, I got to sneak something in my pocket to eat, some crackers, some cookies or something, right? When I needed to take vacation or to go to my son's graduation, it was based on seniority. It wasn't based on me and what I've done for this company and my loyalty. So I felt like they kept me captive to being able to be a wife, a mother to my kids, because guess what? I needed that guaranteed money. If I wasn't there, I didn't get paid. So I didn't see a way out. I didn't see another opportunity until this opportunity came. My trigger moment was when my husband was facing 22 years in prison. I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? What if? I always think of what if. In my heart, I knew, you know what, my husband's going to be good. But in the back of my subconscious mind, it says, what if your husband had to go? What would you do, April? Would you stand up or would you fall down? You've already failed at life numerous times. You cannot fail again. You got 6 people that's looking for you to take care of them. What are you going to do about it, April? That light bulb came on in my head and I said, again, I have to fight for something bigger than myself. I have to take me out of it and look at my kids and my grandkids and my husband. Can you imagine a man that's been on this earth for 50 years, never been in prison, and we're going back and forth to court for 3 years, not knowing what his destiny is going to be? That's a death sentence waiting. Can you imagine the way he felt as a man, his self-esteem? He cannot provide for his family anymore. So either I was going to sit there and cry with him and make it worse, or I was going to be the strong woman that he needed to be able to keep him going, keep his sanity, and still be a father and a husband to me. It was a no-brainer for me when I seen this opportunity. When I seen that, and I tell everybody this, a lot of people are afraid of commission. You know why they're afraid of commission? Because commission exposes people's laziness. So I knew that commission doesn't work unless you work. And I work. So I knew commission was going to work for me and my family. But that light bulb was, you know what? I've never seen anybody in my position as a charge nurse become a millionaire. I've never seen them become rich. I've always seen them doing good, but they've never been great. And so when I got into Gary Cornegay's office, that's all he talked about was greatness, being number one, having something in a legacy for your family. When he said that to me, it clicked because, again, I was raised to go to school, get a good education, get a degree, and go to work for someone else. Well, now it's about me because guess what? I've been too close to death for me not to try this opportunity.
James, you have another question?
Yeah. Okay. April, again, you are definitely on fire. So you at home, so you just be you. But you mentioned that, you know, you're building relationships, and I want to know kind of like, what are some things you're doing there? You said, and you're taking them 10 to 12 deep. Tell me what that looks like, you know, when you're getting to know these people and building those relationships. I know Gary got Taco Tuesdays. I've been there. So, so let me know give me some other ideas. Help me out over here.
So, okay. For all you Christians out there, whatever your religion is, please don't judge me. I'm just me the way I am. I'm not vulgar or anything, but if you guys want to hear real conversations, I have a real conversation with people, James. I don't give them that scripted Primerica, you can live this life, you can make all this money. Because guess what? That's just to sell the vision. You're going to be who you are in Primerica because remember, James, you take you wherever you go. It doesn't matter if an opportunity was given to you or an opportunity that was earned for you, right? So when I sit down with you, James, say you and I, we meet. And so the first thing I do is I want to know a little bit about your background. If you're married, do you have kids? Have you ever been your own boss? Do you think about work? Have you ever thought about opening up your own business? Are you have an employee mindset? I want to know those key elements first, because that's how my presentation is going to go. It's not based on just Primerica's presentation. I need to get to know you first. So if they say, you know what, I never thought about owning my own job because of income, then I know that I'm going to talk about that. If they say, yes, I've always thought about opening my own business, but I just never knew how, I'm going to talk about that. And once we talk about that, I always find out what is driving them. What are your goals, your immediate goals and dreams? What are some of your short-term goals and dreams? And I want to help you get there, James. Now, I'll ask you this, James. You've been doing it your way for however, say you're 50. You've been doing it your way for 50 years. And I say this to you, James, and how have that, and where have you gotten with that? And you go, well, you know what? I'm still doing the same thing I did 50 years ago. I said, so you've been doing it your way for 50 years. Now let me show you my way, and I can free you to have the freedom, because guess what? I'm not going to tell you can make a lot of money here, but I can tell you this. Father Time is undefeated. And we all want time, and we want the freedom to do what we want when we want with our families. Is that what you're searching for when you're going to join Primerica? Do you want to be free? And you want to be free? Okay,
Yeah.
so listen, you're going to be either the warning or the example in my organization. Which one do you want to be?
I want to be the example.
Okay, so this is what it's going to take in my organization to be successful. Now, your success is going to be different from mine. I came in Primerica. I couldn't get licensed for 4 months, right? I had a background issue when I was 18 years old. I don't even remember. They said I was stealing some grapes out of the grocery store. I don't even remember what it was. It was something so stupid, right? So they had to go through the SSR issue. I say, listen, I started in Primerica. I could not get licensed. But what I did was this. I never stopped going on presentations and appointments. My first month unlicensed, I did $30,000 in personal premium for my uplines, meaning I didn't get paid $1. There was no field training bonus 3 years ago because I had an SSR issue. So guess what? It's zero. So guess what? I got paid in this. The second month, I did $26,000 in personal premium. I didn't get paid anything. The third month, I did $21,000 in personal premium. The fourth month unlicensed, I did $17,000 unlicensed in premium. Now, I've already made $100,000 in my head because guess what? I took you to see enough people to do $100,000 in premium. Listen, even though I didn't know if I was going to get licensed, I claimed that I was going to get licensed. So therefore, I didn't stop my journey. I did not kill my momentum. So then my fourth month license, the last day of the month I get licensed, I already have a team built. And so I'll go out and I write up 5 or 6 people and I make about $6,000 in one day. Right there, it was like, it sold me. I knew that me building relationships, that I was going to be big in Primerica because that's what Gary instills in us. You build relationships with people and you show them your worth when you're getting paid, because they say, when you love something, you do not have to get paid for it. And I love knowing that I walked away from a family and their family was protected with a mutual fund or an IRA or getting life insurance as a beneficiary. So I said, no problem. I said, I did that. I said, so those are the conversations I had. I showed them I made no money, and now I can show them that I can make some money with you. And I'm going to free you from whatever your goals and dreams are that you want to do. I have those kind of conversations with people. I go, have you ever lost anything? Have you ever gained anything? What was your biggest accomplishment in life? When you get to know those people, you're not just selling just this Primerica thing, because James, as you know, people don't buy Primerica. You hear all these negative things about Primerica. People buy you. People buy your compassion. People buy your energy. It's based on your energy if you're going to have a team that's thriving. If you go, hey, James, how you doing? You know what? I got the greatest opportunity for you. We can make some extra money. Anybody can say that. But if you don't get deep down to where it hurts or where something is burning you, then you will never get that people. And that's why my organization is not a huge organization. I have 51 licensed agents, but I have 37 that plugs in on a daily basis with me. All of my directs are close relationship. We travel together, our kids do birthdays together, and I talk to all of my regional leaders every day, about 5 to 6, 7, 10 times a day. Every hour on the hour, we're in communication. There's not a day or hour that don't go by that I don't personally pick up the phone and call my directs. I have accountability call every day. That may seem like it's a lot for people, but I do a 30-minute accountability call every day to see what their goals and dreams are, what we're going to do in that day. If you keep an eye on your business, you will never get a hiccup. See, most people let everybody be independent contractors, and I do. I'm not a micromanager, but I need to see what kind of activity you have, and I always remind them of their why. You cannot be complacent here. If you're not getting a do not reply, that means your family is not eating. How can you go a day without having business for your family? So I have those real conversations, Jane, and my people were really close. And then when they recruit somebody, I personally get on the call. I introduce them to me. I give them my phone number, my email, and I do check up on them. I'll send them a text. How's it going in Primerica your first 3 days? We need to get you promoted. Everybody in my organization gets promoted in the first 7 days. We do a 6x6, and we talk about that on the first day. So I speak about urgency, about the success, because I want to get you licensed within 30 days, and I at least want to get you on 30 appointments in 1 month. So I have real conversations with real people. I don't just give them the old scripted thing. I need to see, because I come from a place where I had nothing but adversity. Everything that I thought about should have been slammed in my face and not do Primerica. But I don't allow my distractions or my excuses to dictate my future. I don't care about a no. I don't care about your excuses, because I can give you 1 million of them right now, but that don't give me a right to not coach you. So if you let me hold you accountable, James, I'm going to get to your goal faster and you'll get there by yourself, because you've been doing this for 50 years on your own and it hasn't gotten you where you want to be. I'm going to get you where you want to be. It's a blueprint. It's already in place. Do it this way and you'll have success. Do it your way and you'll be in the same position.
Well, it seems like you really bought into the recruiting, and that's a whole new animal. And most of Primerica get distracted with the products, like they just came out with mortgages, and that can distract you. How do you stay focused on recruiting and building and going deep and doing all the things that the big time hierarchy builders do?
Okay, so for me, I do recruit everybody, if that makes sense, right? We got to recruit the masses, and some will stick. I always say it's not the person you recruited, it's the person that they brought into you, right? So all the products that Primerica offer. Now listen, I don't expect anybody to do what April and Monte has done. You guys have a system. I'm just going to tell you what I do. Gary is from the old school, the 85 average and ordinary people, right? And so it's a crusade, and he still teaches on the crusade. What is the crusade? To have families properly protected, right? And make sure that you can leave generational wealth. Every other product that Primerica puts out, I do not focus on anything but the life insurance piece and investing your money. Buy term and invest the rest. All those other things that Primerica do, they don't own it. So it's not my concern. I don't even talk about that to my people. I don't care about Vivint. Not that I don't care about their products. That is not what we're here for. We are here to buy term and invest the rest to make sure that our families will create generational wealth. That's it. I do not focus on anything else, Bill. I'm sorry. Some people come in here to Bill when we're going on vacations and contests. You don't hear about these other products. That's not our product. I want to stick to the products that Primerica's name stand by, and it's life insurance and it's investments. And that's the only thing that I teach on my organization. We want to build businesses so you can own your own physical location, your franchise. A lot of people want to be in business. They just don't know how. And by default, guess what? We're going to go out here and protect communities that no one wants to talk to. Middle class America and lower class America. And we're changing those generational curses. That's what we do, Bill. I don't focus on anything else. I don't teach on anything else. It's life insurance. You're going to master term, and you're going to tell them and teach them why term is better. And then your mutual funds, your PACs, everything that you do is going to come into play with the crusade that A.O. Williams started for us. And we're going to continue that crusade to the day that we die.
James.
I don't know that I got another question, Coach, but April, I just want to say, hey, you killed it today. Man, I look forward to getting to know you and seeing you at the AALC here coming up soon, and appreciate everything that you and your son have done. Example. So,
James, I can't believe you don't have more other questions for me.
And you answered
Well,
all my questions. You answered all my questions in the beginning.
Okay.
Well, when you're blown away, there's not a lot left on the table when you get blown away, April. And we're blown away. And we have not seen someone that's a powerhouse like you in quite a while. So the question I have, I want you to make some comments on who are the people in Primerica. I know you got the Virginia Carter Award, and as you know, Virginia was my upline. direct recruit to me, she recruited me, who passed away 11 years ago this coming Friday. How has the adulation that you've gotten inspired you to take a lot of people with you? Because you're on your way, but a lot of people, they're successful, but they have no desire to take people with them. Seemed like in your heart of hearts, in your soul, you want a lot of other people with you on this journey to success and a fabulous life.
First and foremost, as a nurse at heart, I've always wanted to help people, right? And so I think what I did was I just transitioned that piece from being a nurse, a caretaker, having great bedside manner into Primerica. Because guess what, Bill? If you're not successful, I'm not successful. The system that Primerica has set up is you bring people with you, not leave them behind. See, I could have did this all by myself, but it's not fun when I'm at the top by myself. Why can't my brother and sister be next to me and me looking down on them? See, I've always been looked down at in my life. No one wants to see you. Everybody wants to see you doing good, but just not better than them. I want people to do better than me. That is the reward and recognition in Gary's Carnegie hierarchy. He says, listen, I want you to be big just like me, because that's where jealousy and envy comes in, because now they're looking at you like, oh, you know what? She thinks she's better than everybody else. No, I don't. Why can't we eat at the same table? Primerica's payroll, you can make as much money as you want. They can pay you just like you get paid, right? So I want people to be around me, because when you're building people up, then that's when you're more successful. It's not about the money. Forget the money. The money comes with success. But to me, the success comes when you can reach back and bring somebody up to your same level. And that's what Gary Carnegie hierarchy teaches on, bringing someone up and never leaving someone behind. You help them, you build them, you build their mentals and their fundamentals in business. And guess what? You'll sleep better at night knowing that it's a duplicational system. So if I help you, Bill, you're going to love what I did for you. So guess what you're going to do? It's going to bleed into you bringing this business. And then that next person. See, we all talk about duplication. Most people don't do duplication. They say that because I look at the bigger picture in Primerica. I see so many people at the top that all their people below are struggling. And that's why, to me personally, Primerica gets a bad name, like we're a pyramid, because no one is getting to these levels. Well, everybody in my organization, like right now, I have 7 regionals that's getting ready to go RVP. I have 26 divisions. I have 21 districts. All we talk about every day is getting to my position in RVP, because that's the only way that I can coach them. I can't coach them to NSD yet because I haven't made it to NSD. So I want to coach them to regional vice president. And then when I get to the next level by promoting them, then I can teach them to the next level. It's all about duplication, Bill. And I love to see other people successful. When I see that one of my girls that's like Passion, she's been here a year and a half. She's made over $257,000 in income, career cash. Why? Because she watched me do it, but I'm still helping her as a regional leader. I hop on her Zooms just to make sure that I got that extra ear, and I'm hearing what she's saying, to make sure that where our system is not going to be watered down. Because Bill, I can tell you something. When it gets to Rose, it's a little bit watered down. When it gets to Sean, and by the time it gets back to you, Bill, it's not even what I said. So you want to make sure that the system is in place and everybody is following it. And if everybody follow it, we can all be successful together.
You made a comment, and I've got 2 more questions, then we'll let you go. It said, it's not the person you recruit, it's the person they bring to you. It's the hardest thing I've seen in Primerica is for people to get a hold of, is to take somebody 10, 11, 12 deep. Where did you get that? Why are you committed to it? And why do you see that as the only way to do this?
For me, I was actually recruited by a young lady named Marilyn. She was direct to Eric Davis. She was networked to Gary Carnegie. Well, because I just came in on fire, I don't know, it was my past what caused me to just go crazy, which is probably my husband. I watched Gary build a relationship with me and then everybody that I brought into the company. When I talk about duplication, that's what I seen when I first came in the company. And second of all, I trusted him. If you don't have no trust with your upline, you won't make it in this business. If you think that your upline is making money on you, Gary told me from day one, April, I have a financial interest in you. And let's make that clear straight across the table. Because if you don't make money, I don't make money. And I like making money. So therefore, I'm going to make sure that you make money. That was already embedded in my head. I didn't care how much money my uplines made. The money I needed was right here to sit down with a whole life agent and tear them apart, whether I was in a company 1 month or 30 years. I needed that energy. So he took me, he took my sons, he took all of my downlines, and Gary took each and every one out to dinner, and he got a relationship. Because remember, I told you, it's not who you recruit, it's who you bring in. Because the person that you recruit might not be 100% in, but the one that they bring in may be hungry and want to have success. And so they're like a fireball like me. And he says, you got to know your people, because if you don't know your people, you will lose this whole organization. So he took my sisters, he took my brothers, he took them, and he got a personal relationship with them. And so therefore, as it got so big, he can't do everybody, but he got the core 6 of the 6 people that I brought in. And then therefore, what I did was, when I recruit somebody, I bring my upline in to meet them, to let them know Primerica is not a pyramid scheme. We don't just make money off of people. We build people. And by building people, this is where the relationship comes in. So I meet all of my downlines, because somebody in that lineage is going to quit. And so therefore, I flanked all of my uplines. I flanked Marilyn, I flanked Vicky, I flanked one other upline, but because Gary went 4 levels deep, I became direct to him, and now I'm one of his top earners, his highest earners in Primerica, because he tap rooted.
Most people don't get that. They see going wide, they never see going deep. And it frustrates all of us who witness people like yourself. The last thing I'll ask you before I go, I know you've had some tough circumstances in your life, but what belief system do you have that stokes the fire in your belly? Because I don't believe those circumstances changed you. I think those circumstances released you. Where's that fire in the belly come from with you, April?
I believe it's because everybody has doubted me. You know, they've always looked down, never thought that I would be anything. I think just working with a chip on my shoulder, even though those situations happened to me as an adult, I think how people look at you and what you go through, they judge you. So therefore, they don't think that you can be successful because of your past, right? A lot of people let their past dictate them. But the fire in me is to look back and I go, all right, what did the Hiltons do different than me, right? What did the Kardashians do different than me? You know, what did Martin Luther King do different than me to become successful? And I go, success lies within you. And the only way that you can be successful is if you want it bad enough. See, I've took so many losses, Bill, in my life, and I've lost so much that I can't lose any longer. So I go, am I going to be here for the rest of my life saying all I did was take losses? Because do you know success is failure too? I just failed more times than anybody else, and I was sick and tired of failing. I had to prove to myself that I'm somebody and I'm worth who I say I am. And so therefore, I can instill that into my kids. So if I leave here, they can feel that same burning desire that I did to have something, to believe in something, to have faith in something the size of a mustard seed. And through adversity, it burns me to do better each and every day. I challenge myself to be a better person than I was yesterday. And so therefore, there's my growth, because guess what? If I was lazy and didn't want to take an appointment yesterday, I know today I need to do double of what I didn't do yesterday. That's what burns me.
You know, I spent a lot of time last week with Julie Seaman. Julie's married to my nephew, and she's a family member. And when I told her that you are our guest speaker, she went nuts.
Wow.
Talk about a fan. She is a huge fan of yours. But the biggest thing she said was she had to educate you on who Virginia Carter was. And because, we don't talk about her a lot. It seemed like when you gave your talk, when they gave you the presentation, it was if you were right there with her and known her for years. Talk about that for a second. Again, she's beloved. She's iconic, as you are becoming. We'll end on that one. Tell us how Virginia Carter's story helped you and can help others.
Okay, so let me be frank and honest. I went to my first convention, and I believe Diana Macias got that. Is that 2017?
Yes.
Okay. I seen her get on stage and win this honor. And I'm in the company not even 30 days when I go. It was the ALC, and she was getting that. It was a convention. And I was like, what is the Virginia Carter Award? And because I was around, I think I was sitting way in the back. I didn't get VIP. I didn't know nothing. And some lady, I don't even know who she was, sat next to me. And she said, this is the highest honor that you can get in Primerica, but didn't tell me the story. She couldn't even tell me. So I really didn't even know. Honestly, I didn't know. I just knew it was a prestigious award. And how you got that award, there is no qualifications on how you get it. So when I seen her get that award, and then they reflected back on Tanya Poe and Peggy Hightower and all the other women who got it, I said, to that day, that 30 days that I was in that company, I said, I'm getting that award. I'm getting that award. I'm going to show Jenny that I'm proud, right? I can do what she did, right? I never knew the background. I just claimed it the first 30 days in this business. And so I said, I'm getting that award. And I went back to the hierarchy, Cornegate hierarchy. I said, Gary, I'm going to win the Virginia Carter Award. He says, he challenged you. You ain't going to win that award. So I didn't think nothing of it. So I said, this is what I said. I said, what's the qualifications? He says, we don't know. I says, well, when he told me that, Bill, I said, I better do and be the best at every level in this company, starting as a senior rep. Meaning I need to be extraordinary. I need to make sure that I'm recruiting, that I have great leadership. I started reading books. I never read no books. I always did, I was reading books because I wanted to how to influence people. I needed leadership skills. I never led a team. I've always been led by someone. So of course my talk is not professional. I'm so nervous, Bill, on that screen. I mess up every time. I'm getting butterflies. I'm asking Julie, can you write something out so I can read from it? And she's like, you're going to be fine. I was so nervous in there. And I did 2 speeches. The first speech I thought was great, but the second speech was worse. And I'm like, why did they use that one? I can't even listen to myself because I was messing up, right? But they got the picture, right? You nervous up there. You don't realize how everybody's looking at you. I got 100 people looking at me. I'm like, oh my God, please say the right things. But I got so much going on in my mind that I want to get it all out. So then I get tongue tied, right? I'm so excited, but I said that I was going to get that award 3 years ago. And because there was no qualification, that made me work so hard. And I said, when the next convention come up, I'm going to get it. I didn't even know her story, but I said, Julie, I'm getting up here receiving this award. And most people won't say that. Can you give me a background of her, please? I knew she was, I think I knew a little bit. I knew that she started off I knew something about alcoholic. That's all I knew. I just heard that through the passing, and she educated me on that. And so my second interview was about her, because I've listened to all the other Virginia Carter Award recipients and nobody ever thanked Virginia. We get it. We get those awards, but who you thinking home office, you thinking your team, but what about Jenny? That award represents her. And if nobody is speaking about her in their speeches, do you really believe that you're going to get that award? See, I believed I was going to get that award, so I know I had to do extraordinary things. And so I didn't look back, and I said, Virginia, I will not. And you heard me when I said, this is for every other woman or man that want to get this award. Why did I say that? But I'm saying you can get any award, right? But because Jenny was so exceptional in this business, I had to give thanks and homage to the person who died believing in Primerica. And I tell everybody, I don't have an exit date in Primerica. I have a death date like Jenny. So therefore, you can't come with me with some side businesses. I am 100% sold out in Primerica. I don't have a plan B, C, D, or E. Primerica is my only plan. So I got to make the best of it while it's still here.
April, you honor Virginia. You know, she's beloved, and with me, she's my second mom. And I love to hear the way you talk about her and honor her, and want to take a bunch of other folks with you. You know, people don't realize what it takes to get the Virginia Carter Award. We'll let you know if you do.
Right.
It's got to be the best of the best of the best. That year, you go out, first year out is an RVP, but you don't know what the numbers are. But that's why so few people even think like that. But congratulations, April. You set us on fire. The chats are going nuts. And thank you for being April and bringing that to us. And we need you so bad. We need you in our company. We need you in our lives. And my favorite quote, people will get over your death, but the right kind of people never get over your life. And you've honored Virginia because we've not gotten over her life yet. And we're not going to get over this session for quite a while. Thank you very much. I'll call you in a few minutes and get your email address. I want to mail a copy of this video to you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Can I say one last thing before I leave here? You know, I've never done anything for me in my life. Okay, I want you guys to hear this. And this is from my heart. I've been married since I was 18 years old. I'm 50 years old. And I put all of my goals and dreams aside to make sure that my family had everything, right? My husband and my kids. And so when Primerica came, it was my turn, right? I didn't even know what I liked. When I thought that my husband's life he was gonna spend it in prison for the rest of his life. Do you know that I got so afraid that I was gonna lose everything? And one second here. I thought that my world was gonna come to an end. And at this point, when I got in this company, I said, I need to be recognized for being a phenomenal woman, a wife, a friend, a confidant. I needed to show my husband that everything that I put it back to the side because I wanted to, not because I had to. I don't want it to seem like I just had to. I put it to side because I knew what it took to be a wife and raise kids together. This time, it was up to me. What they say, till death do us part, for richer, for poor, through trials and tribulations. I had to be his other half. I had to be the other side of his heart. And I had to make it happen for him. And so when I got here and I knew what I can do here, the recognition was for him and my family to know that, guess what? I wasn't here just sitting around wasting my life. I made something out, whether I was 47 or 50, I made it happen. So I want to thank you guys for inspiring me in this great company and hearing other people's story to keep going through it all. And I just made it happen for me this time. This wasn't about anybody but me, and satisfying me to making me feel like I'm whole again, to making sure I'm worth something, not just a mother, a wife, and a friend, but I can be to somebody that somebody wasn't to me. So I want to end that with that. I love you guys. Anybody on here can get that award. You just got to be an exceptional person, phenomenon, and you got to believe in Primerica from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. And I believe in Primerica. And thank you for having me on this call. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
We all thank God for bringing you into our lives. Thank you, April. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Everybody, this Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time, we have, talk about that, Tony, what's happening Friday with me and Omar.
Well, Coach, Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time is the Money Quest show. And really what it is two really great friends, Bill Orender, Omar Oropesa, talking about one of their common loves, which is money. And, you know, we all talk about mindset. I mean, April was phenomenal about wanting to be a winner and being worthy. Guys, if you ever wanted to have a seat at the table of two multi-millionaires, this is your chance. You know, they say you are the average of your friends. Have a chance to raise I always say that between Omar and Bill and I, we're together, net worth is over multi-millions. You know, we're not going to talk about, you know, but that's, and really what it is talking about how do you change your mindset from the people who already have. So come, listen, learn, and just be in that and listen to it. And that's, I think, one of the best ways. If you ever wanted to have a coach or a mentor to change your mindset, this is your chance to do it by one of the two greatest people, and they're best friends. And it's an hour long of just amazing stuff. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's the same, same sign-in number. And so 1 hour, and we generally have it the second Tuesday of every month because of the death in the family that I went to last week. We moved it back. So this 18th, 9 a.m. to 10, we'll talk to you then. Thank you very much. Central Time. Bye-bye.